Hey there, my name's Adam, your friendly Sasquatch, and today we're going to be doing a quick video review of the Ryobi Misting Fan 1 Plus. This is a new and improved battery-powered mister from Ryobi that goes on top of a 5-gallon bucket. Ryobi makes the claim that this has a 5-hour runtime and will cool your air down up to 14 degrees. We're going to put those claims to the test. Let's unbox this thing and see what you get. Okay, the unboxing was super simple. You have a fan, you have a battery, you have a battery charger, and of course all the obligatory paperwork, which you're not going to read because you're watching this video. You'll know everything there is to know about this fan. So let's go ahead and take a closer look, and then we'll get the battery charged up, then take this outside and do a performance test so you can see exactly what this puppy is capable of. So here's the fan itself. As you can see, the fan itself rotates up and down, which is quite nice. You have 2 misting nozzles on either side, which is good, should be giving it a nice even mist, but we'll put that to the test a little bit later. On the front we have 2 switches. On the right hand side of you is the misting switch. You can turn it to low or high or just leave it off. And then on the left hand side we have the fan switch, and again you have low, high, or you can just leave it off. The hoses are just on the bottom. They coil up nicely for storage, and you have 2 adapters. One is for putting in the 5-gallon bucket itself, and the other is a hose adapter, so if you're near a water source, you don't have to worry about filling up the 5-gallon bucket. You just screw this onto your hose and the water is ready to go. And when you're all done, the hoses coil up quite nicely. On the back, there's a cover for the battery, and it is spring-loaded. Make sure that it stays shut and keeps your battery dry, which is good when you're dealing with anything that has water in it. And then the battery just inserts like so, and you're good to go. This is the same battery that they use on a lot of their drills, which is kind of nice because if you have a drill already or another Ryobi product, this will work with that as well. So it's kind of a double purpose. There's a button on the front side here. You press it and 4 LED lights will light up, letting you know the state of charge. Each LED representing 25%. So the charging cable that comes with the Ryobi is just a simple battery brick with a end that slips over the end of the battery like so. You just plug in wherever it's convenient, and in a few hours the battery will be fully charged, ready for use. And like we said earlier, since these batteries are used on their drill products and other portable electronics, they're readily available, and you can get multiple batteries if you want to keep this fan running all day long. The only con that I see on this fan so far is on the very back. There's no plug-in for an extension cord or anything like that, which would let this fan run all day long. I kind of understand why they did this, since you're dealing with water. You know, electric extension cords and water don't always mix. It would have been nice if you could have had that option without the misting function turned on. If you could just use this as a standard fan in your shop. But as it's currently set up, you're kind of limited to using just the batteries, which is okay. Ryobi does sell a battery-powered fan that also lets you do the extension cord. However, that model does not come with the water misting features like this one does. Okay, that's the quick unboxing. It's a nice 100-degree day here in Arizona. Let's get this thing outside and put it to the test. Okay, before we start the test today, I'm just going to quickly show you the setup so you know what we're testing. It's 105 degrees today in Phoenix, and I filled the bucket all the way to the brim. I want to see, how long it'll run if I have maximum water capacity. In front of the bucket, I have 3 thermometers. One is 3 feet away. Another is 7 feet away. And then the final one, kind of sitting on top of this cooler here, is 11 feet away. The reason I'm doing this is to see over time how far away the cooling effect of this misting fan has, and how much the cooling effect is. So I'm going to go ahead and bring the misting fan out, put it on the bucket, and turn it on. And again, we're starting at 105 degrees today, so I'm going to be monitoring these thermometers every 15 minutes, and we'll throw a chart up at the end here so we can see how well it cools, how far away it cools, and how long it can cool for. Okay, so as you can see now, we have the Ryobi fan on the full bucket. We're going to turn it on in just a minute. The conditions are 105 degrees Fahrenheit outside. The wind is coming from the south to north, 5 miles per hour. The house is blocking the wind, so it's basically still air here. And the humidity is 22%, so very low humidity here in Phoenix. So this is pretty much the perfect situation for a misting fan. Low humidity, very hot day, stagnant air. So we're going to see the maximum effect that this puppy can do. So let's go ahead and turn on the mister. We're going to turn on level 2 because, when it's over 100 degrees, it's pretty hot out. As you can tell, it's not super loud, which is nice. And I'm going to try and get a close-up of the misting for you, see if you can see it. Hopefully you can see that okay. It's misting pretty well. It's shooting toward the center of the fan from each side, which is exactly what you want. And I can already feel the cooling effect just standing here. It's making a big difference. Okay, now you can see what the misting fan looks like when it's powered on. It's shooting a lot of cool air down my test field here, so very happy with how it feels. It's nice and quiet, not overly loud, and it is moving quite a bit of air. If I hold my hand about 1 foot in front of it, it does get pretty wet. And when I come out to the 11-foot mark, it's, I can feel the air moving, but it's still pretty warm. So we'll see what the thermometers say, and we're going to just track this until the bucket is completely empty or the battery dies. Okay, so we're back outside 15 minutes later. Let's see how well this misting fan is working. First is, let's take a look inside. Put my hand in there. Yeah, it's not using really that much water. It's maybe down 1/2 inch, so I think this bucket of water should last a couple hours. You can see in front of the misting fan it's a little bit wet, so it's definitely putting out a lot of water. Here at the 3-foot mark, we're at 88 degrees and 46% humidity. At the 7-foot mark, we are at 89 degrees and 46% humidity. And all the way out here at the 11-foot mark, we are still at 100 degrees, but only 30% humidity. So it is cooling down slightly 11 feet away, but not a whole lot. I'm pretty happy with this. This is really good performance. The box says it can cool up to 14 degrees, and at 88 degrees, 3 feet away, we're cooling a full 17 degrees. So very happy with the performance so far, and we'll keep checking in periodically. All right, guys, we're 30 minutes into the test, and the results are really good. This first thermometer that's 3 feet away is at 85 degrees. That's a full 20 degrees below the 105 degree heat out there. It is covered in water, which, that's what a misting fan kind of does, but it is working. If we move out to the 7-foot thermometer, this is at 87 degrees. So it's not that much warmer than the one that's covered in water over there. So it's working really well. And out here we have our 11-foot thermometer, and it has actually gone up to 101 degrees. It's actually 106 out here now instead of 105. So this one is seeing a 5-degree benefit. So even if you're trying to do a large area, it might still be worth putting a misting fan out there. It will just bring the entire area temperature down a little bit. So if you have an outdoor toolbox or something like that, you might want to put this over there and just cool the entire area for people coming and going. Okay, so you can see the fan's still running strong. So we're going to go ahead and keep doing temperature measurements every 15 minutes. And then after an hour or two, we'll come back out and check out the setup to see how wet everything is and how much water is left in the bucket. So overall, I'm really impressed with this Ryobi misting fan. It's a great little portable unit, and it's doing exactly what it's advertised to do. Okay, about 2.5 hours in, and I noticed the temperatures were starting to climb on my remote thermometers. And I came out here, and the fan has died. It is run out of battery. You can still see water on the table, and the board's still wet here, so I know that it hasn't been off for very long. But about 2.5 hours is what I was able to get out of this fan with the misters on and on full blast on one battery. Now obviously I could extend that runtime if I had extra batteries, or I ran the fan on low or the misters on low. So if you're thinking about getting one of these things, you might want to pick up an extra battery, especially for those long hot days, and you'll just switch them out with the charger or something like that. Looking in the bucket here, we can see the bucket is about half full still, so the fan really doesn't use all that much water. You could get probably 2 batteries on one 5-gallon bucket, so that's encouraging. So if you're on a job site or something like that doesn't have water, you could just bring a bucket or 2 of water and have enough water for all-day use of this fan. Let's go ahead and take this thing back inside, recharge the battery, and then we'll take a quick look at the data to see how well this misting fan performed. Okay, so there you have it. This misting fan runs for about 2.5 hours, and in that 2.5 hours, it used about half of a 5-gallon bucket. And that's about right based on what I was reading online. These misting fans are rated for 1.1 gallons per hour. So that's pretty good. If you're on a job site or something, you can just bring a bucket or 2 of water, and you don't have to worry about finding a water source. As far as runtime, 2.5 hours should be long enough to charge one of these batteries from a completely dead state. That means you can just switch between 2 batteries all day long and not have any interruption in runtime. So I'm really impressed with the Ryobi fan. It does exactly what it's advertised to do. It pulls the temperature down about 20 degrees, from 105 down to 85, which is really good. Now I'm going to caution you, if you live in a very humid environment, the fan may not be quite as effective. It still will provide some cooling relief, but the drier the climate is, the more effective one of these misting fans is going to be. Here in Phoenix, we get a lot of hot days. You just saw me testing in 105 degree heat. We regularly get up into 115, so this is going to be part of my regular rotation. But it is a dry heat, which means that this misting fan will perform better than it might in other parts of the country. Just something to keep in mind. All in all, I was super impressed. The runtime was pretty good. I noticed the misting nozzles didn't drip or anything like that. The mist was nice and even, and the fan had really good cooling power. In the test, we had the sensor set up at 3, 7, and 11 feet. And even at 7 feet, we were getting most of the cooling power that the sensor at 3 feet was getting. Now at 11 feet, we were definitely seeing a reduction in cooling power, but the humidity on the sensor did go up, and we did see a 5-degree drop. So even if you have a larger area, 1 or 2 of these might be a great option. So if you live in a hot area, I would highly recommend one of these, and maybe an extra battery so you can keep it running all day long. Overall, I was very happy with this purchase. It does everything it claims to, and it doesn't come with a lot of extra complexities that cost you money. I hope you found this video review helpful. If you did, make sure to hit that like button below. It helps us out a lot. And if you haven't done so already, make sure to hit that subscribe and bell icon as well. Cheers!